Chapter 11, the mode of worshipping Shiva. The sages said, "O Sūta, the fortunate disciple of Vyasa, we bow to you. Today we have been blessed to hear this wonderful and sanctifying story of. We have learned about the miraculous and highly divine origin of the, whose efficacy, when heard or spoken, brings about the destruction of all misery. You, O storehouse of mercy, possess great knowledge. Please enlighten us on how one might worship and satisfy him based on the conversation between and from the to thee and all worship. But how is it to be done? We wish to know what you have learned from the great sage." Sūta said, "O lordly sages, your inquiry concerns a deeply secret and sacred topic. Yet I shall explain it to you as best as my understanding allows, and as I have heard it from my teacher. Long ago himself had asked the very same question of the ancient sage, and from him learned the secrets of worship. Then received this wisdom from, and desiring the welfare of all the worlds, imparted it to me." Brahma's explanation. Long ago I explained the brief method of worshipping the sacred phallic symbol of. To explain this in full detail would take lifetimes, but I shall summarize for the sake of fulfilling all desires. The one who is devoted to and who performs this sacred worship will find all their desires fulfilled. Suffering from poverty, illness, enemies, or any of the 4 types of sins will only trouble a person as long as they do not worship. Once is worshipped, all such miseries dissolve into his being, granting the devotee a life of happiness and ultimately salvation. Method of worship continued. Regardless of whether one is all must worship in the appropriate manner, following the rules that have been passed down through time. One must rise during the approximately an hour before dawn, when the world is still quiet and the divine energies are strongest. Upon waking, the worshipper should first think of their preceptor and then meditate upon. They should remember the sacred pilgrimage sites, Vishnu, myself and other deities and sages before beginning the ritual of prayer in the name of. After this, the person shall cleanse themselves and begin the morning duties, which differ according to caste and tradition. Should use the earth to clean themselves 5 times, a 4, a 3, and a twice. Women should follow similar practices. Once purified, the worshipper should brush their teeth with a twig, the size of which varies by caste, and avoid this ritual on certain days like 6th day of the lunar fortnight, 9th day, and during sacred rites. The devotee must then perform their ablutions, cleanse their mouth through, wear clean, washed clothes, and proceed to a quiet, isolated place to recite the prayers. After observing all the preliminary rites, they can enter the sanctum for worship, ensuring that their mind is steady and focused. The worship ritual. Sitting on a good seat, the devotee should perform various acts of self-purification, including the ritualistic touching of body parts while chanting mantras and other preliminary rites, the divine attendants at the temple's threshold, and the guardians of the directions must be venerated first before the pedestal is prepared. In some cases, a mystical diagram of a lotus with 8 petals may be drawn and should be invoked and seated in its center. The devotee should surround themselves with all the necessary materials of worship, perform 3 times, wash their hands, and engage in controlled breathing 3 times. The devotee then meditates upon the 3-eyed form of, with 5 faces, 10 arms, and adorned with all ornaments. He wears a tiger-skin cloth and shines like crystal during this meditation. The devotee must see themselves as one with, thus burning off their sins in the fire of devotion. Once meditation is complete, the devotee shall touch their body with holy water in a ritualistic manner, invoking the root mantra and the 6 body parts with Omkara. They shall then begin the worship with pure intention, offering water for washing the feet, an offering to honor a guest, and water for sipping. The sacred bath. Following this is to be ceremonially bathed with water, made fragrant with sandalwood paste and mixed with the fine powders of fragrant roots and spices such as nutmeg and camphor. Special offerings such as cow's milk, curds, honey and sugarcane juice are used for the bathing of. The devotee should recite mantras during this time, invoking Om, and offering a mix of 5 sacred substances from the cow to purify the deity. After this, flowers, incense, lamps, and the finest offerings should be made too. Special attention is given to offering flowers of jasmine, lotus, and other rare flowers like and. The devotee shall ensure that the water used for the bathing is pure and poured in a continuous stream, symbolizing an unbroken flow of devotion. Then, thee is adorned with sandal paste, beautiful flowers, and other pleasing offerings like food, betel leaves, and waving of lamps, all accompanied by chants and prayers. Final prayers and benefits. Once the worship is complete, the devotee stands up, holding flowers in both hands, and prays fervently to, "Oh, whether I have performed this worship correctly or with any mistakes, I pray that by your grace it be accepted and bear fruit." The flowers are joyfully placed upon thee, and the devotee continues with prayers of auspiciousness, asking for forgiveness and chanting the mantras to expiate sins. Finally, the devotee offers their heartfelt devotion in every birth. I have no other refuge. You alone are my refuge. The devotee, together with their family, completes the worship filled with delight and satisfaction. Sūta concluded, "O sages, this is the method of worship as revealed by Tu. He who performs this worship regularly with great devotion shall achieve success in all endeavours. His eloquence will improve, his desires will be fulfilled, and the Supreme Lord will dispel all his sorrows and miseries. Just as the moon waxes brighter each day during its waxing phase, so too will the joy and merits of the devotee increase day by day." Thus the sages learned the sacred mode of worshipping the great,